Are you a DM who's ever dealt with naughty player behaviors, atrocities so mind-boggling you have to check your notes and make sure that the big bad evil guy is still the villain of the campaign? Or maybe you are that player that commits those atrocities and you've just been waiting for the satisfying sting of correction. Well, don't worry, one of these 5 techniques that I have for you is sure to hurt you right. So put a gag in it and strap in. The first thing we need to do is figure out what is naughty. Well, your tabletop has the potential for infinite player expression because of the limitless choice. And so just like in real life, people might choose to do things that are unsavory. And so the real crimes that we see in real life, atrocities that we see in real life may very well make their way to your table. But that doesn't mean that it should go unchallenged by you as the DM. Just like those things don't go unchallenged in real life. We do want to punish our players for those atrocious behaviors just like they would be punished in real life. But unlike real life, we want our players to like it. We want to hurt them, but we want them to feel good about it. You as a DM may wonder, why do players do this? Well, it's just because they want to be punished. And so without further ado, let's get into the 5 techniques, any and all of which I guarantee should fit warm and snug inside your game. And the first method is Infamy. This is something that video games have been doing for the last decade, having a reputation system. And just like in real life, when you get caught in a situation like this,
oh wow! Wow!
it'll follow you around for the rest of your life and ruin your reputation. When your players roll into town, but every town that they go into, people end up dead, or the whole town is suddenly and mysteriously lighter of all of the gold every time your party rolls through, people will start to notice that, and their reputation is going to precede them. So when they walk into town and they're infamous for being a mass murderer, yeah, they're not going to find a hotel to stay at. If they were going to find anybody which they could have hospice, that's not going to be an option anymore. When they go into the town to barter, they're going to find all the prices are higher and the shopkeepers ain't willing to barter with you. No, I'm not going to give you a discount. You just killed 20 people in the last village over. Why would I even sell you a weapon? Shopkeepers might not even sell them certain items just out of self-preservation. Using this method is incredibly immersive, and it makes the player feel the results of their actions. Literally, they just have to deal with the consequences of their actions. It's as simple as that. Now, this is a punishment. But why do players love this? Well, because on the flip side, following through with this infamy, yeah, it'll be harder for them to barter for prices, but they're infamous for mass murdering people. So guess what? It'll be way easier for them to intimidate people. It'll be way easier to find unsavory contacts. Maybe then they attract some sort of admirer, somebody who likes the way that they murder hobos, some young budding serial killer who wants them to train them, make them a better serial killer. If that's something that your player is not really going for, that's going to be like a real red flag. Like, whoa, wait. And then they're going to think about their actions. Or they're going to really like that, pull on that narrative thread, and then that's even more quest and even more fun that you guys can be having. Either way, it's interesting. It keeps the story going, and it acknowledges the choices that they've made. So in this way, you are punishing your player, but not in any way where you're passing any sort of moral judgment. You're just making the world respond in a realistic way. Number 2, rivals. If your players are running around the world committing all sorts of atrocities, well, guess what? They're going to be pissing people off. If they're committing mass murder, then you should randomly have an NPC come back like,
"My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die."
And maybe it's law enforcement, a police captain or a detective who's on their trail, has been tracking down these crazy mass murderers. You have your party go into a dungeon like normal. They come out.
Surprise, motherfucker.
4 armed horsemen are waiting for them to arrest them. Not to kill them, to arrest them. That is inherently a punishment, because that's a complication. That's a combat where you could be killed or arrested, but the player's gonna have to like it, because if they win that fight, then that's XP and loot. And if they kill that guard, guess what? That feeds back into their infamy. Or maybe your player's just a klepto and they enter every place with gaping empty pockets only to come out with those same pockets filled to the brim. Well, maybe that player has accidentally stolen a mark of another thief. Maybe that thief becomes a rival without your player even knowing it. The player enters the dungeon, they think that there's going to be a magic item in there.
Surprise, motherfucker.
There's no magic item in there, it's already been stolen by their rival. Or they think they're going to do a heist, and when they get to the location where the jewels are supposed to be, there's just a note left behind by another master thief who's challenging them to see who's actually the best. And that leads me to my next technique, which is really for those players that want that pain. They want to be tied up, they want to be thrown in a cage, and that's the law. There's a reason that people love Grand Theft Auto. Everybody's trying to get that 5-star rating. Nobody keeps it for long. You know you're eventually gonna die. The fun is in the thrill, it's in the chase, it's in knowing that you've done something naughty and trying to get away with it. Some players really like this. They're committing crimes, they're committing atrocities in your world, not because they think they can get away with anything, it's because they don't want to get away with it. They want you to chase them, they want you to play that game of cat and mouse with them. And when that does happen, engage, go all in. Because unlike a video game, tabletop RPGs are superior because you don't have to be bound to the program constraints of a video game. Unlike Grand Theft Auto, which can only have police and car chases in it, your tabletop can have a full law system. You can have your players get captured, you can have them put in jail, you can have them tried, you can have them put up for execution. And at each parts of those stages in the law enforcement, those are all opportunities for different missions. You can have a heist mission in there where you're trying to break somebody out of jail. You can have a social encounter where people are trying to infiltrate the jail dressed as guards and break their friend out. You can have an open combat where Pirates of the Caribbean style, they try to free them on the day of the execution. Or perhaps they never get captured at all because there's a horse chase and they manage to get away by the skin of their teeth. And when it comes to your combat, make it realistic. Have the guards run up with the intent to capture, not to kill. Equip them with things like billy clubs and man catchers and nets. Things that will trap your player and make it hard for them to get away. Make that moment scary for them. Yeah, your player will get out of jail, probably. They'll find a way. Your party will have a mission to get them out of jail. So this is a punishment because this will derail the party. If they were on some sort of limited time quest, this may cause them to fail. They'll waste resources. If they had a good reputation, that will be sullied. But mixed into that is reward as well, because if you commit this horrible crime, yeah, I'm going to reward you with a police chase. And it's going to be a fun and an epic police chase. Or you get captured, right? And when you get captured, then I'll reward you with a quest where you can break out, a heist quest or some sort of social encounter or combat, and you'll probably break out of jail, that's great. But then you're gonna have that bounty on your head, and it's gonna make the game a little bit more difficult for you. The key is that you're not just punishing, you're injecting those nuggets of fun for the player to latch on to. And if you apply a real gentle touch, your players will be too busy enjoying the paddle to even realize that they're being punished. And that's gonna lead me to my fourth point, which is bounties. I don't know what it is about this word, but it definitely tickles my players silly. I couldn't finger any one of these techniques as being more important than the other one, but where the first three are like a fun toy that you can use, bounties, that's a fun toy with batteries. Something about knowing that you were so bad that you got the attention of another dangerous motherfucker. Like he comes up to the battlefield. No. I'm not here for them. I'm here for you. You will see the toughest, buffest grown man squee with delight. And you're going to hear that groan, that, oh. But because you've been training your players up until that point, you'll have a trained ear too by then. And you'll know that groan is not pain. That's a groan of anticipation. You'll have got that appetite whet because by that point, your players are going to be expecting to get punished for the bad things they do. And when that bounty hunter steps on the battlefield, that's going to be a treat for your bad actor, for your naughty player. Now, the thing is, this bounty hunter should be tough. This is a punishment. No. This isn't just a fight just for kicks, just for fun. It's time to put you back in order. And to that end, that boss fight should be epic. It should be something that truly taxes that particular bad actor player. You should build the boss for them, a bounty hunter that comes after them, that has trained, who has studied their techniques and knows how to counter what they can do. Make it something that's tough for them, so tough that the next time they go to commit a crime, they wonder whether or not it's going to be worth attracting the attention of a bounty hunter. Now, this same technique also works for social encounters. It doesn't have to be combat. One thing that I like to do for bounties is also jilted lovers, revenge stories. People who have been hurt by the party by proxy, and the party members don't even think about them. You're doing a whole bunch of mass murderers. You're bound to kill somebody's father, somebody's husband, somebody's mom, somebody's daughter. And what type of person's going to come after you for revenge? That's something you could really play with. Because yeah, you could have them come after for revenge and make it a combat. But how much more poignant would it be to send actually a child after your party? Some 12-year-old whose father you killed. Send a wife after them. Somebody who clearly can't win the fight and is just attacking out of grief. How does your party deal with that? And these sort of moral quandaries that can come from a bounty type system, well, yeah, that's going to be something that really puts a mirror in front of your players because they go, man, I'm out here killing people's families. That alone might be enough to make the player say, yeah, that doesn't make me feel good, I don't want to do this. But they'll still have a lot of fun in that social encounter. They'll still have a lot of fun in that combat encounter when that bounty hunter comes. Because the cool thing about this is that if they solve the social encounter, if they make that thing right, there is a chance of reckoning, there's a chance of peace. If they do get attacked by that bounty hunter, then there is a chance that they can fight him and defeat him. And then there's a chance for experience and loot. So either way, it's not all pain. There's pleasure too. And if your player has been naughty to the point where they've gained infamy, they have rivals, the law is after them, and even bounty hunters, then that leads me to my fifth point. They probably have a moniker, a title, a nickname, something that's the result of the bounties, the law that's after them, the rivals, the infamy that the player has garnered, something that shows the result of their actions. If they're known for killing a bunch of people, maybe they become known as the Crimson Hand. And the Crimson Hand is a moniker, but I would also structure it to have mechanical weight as well. Similar to the Prestige class in older editions of D&D. What you can do is make that title similar to a feat in 5th edition, where so long as you have the title of Red Hand, these are your mechanical bonuses. You have a +5 to intimidation checks. You have a +1 to attack rolls. You have a +20% price increase on weapons because people don't want to sell you things because they think you might chop people down. And you create these bonuses and debuffs for that moniker, and that's what they get, being known as that. And the player can choose to tell people, I am the Crimson Hand, and try to intimidate people. Or if they feel like that's going to hurt their chances of getting a good price, they can try to cover themselves up and try to pretend like they're not the Crimson Hand so nobody notices them. And so this is a punishment because this could be a real scarlet letter. If you're the Crimson Hand, that might seriously hamper your ability to get in with certain factions, to negotiate, to pass certain social encounters. On the other hand, it's a reward because they get to be cool, they get a reputation, they get to be known as somebody and become cemented in your world as a figure that other NPCs will talk about and will notice, and whose actions really do affect the world, and that's going to make them feel very badass. Even if at the end of the day their moniker has more detriments than positives, it also is going to give them an ability to better role play how their character fits in this world now that they've done those atrocious things. Quick bonus tip, you can also use these monikers positively.
By my right as Jarl, I name you Thane of Whiterun.
In Skyrim, you can be the Thane of Whiterun, and that gives you certain benefits like discounts, the ability to buy property, a housecarl. You can do this in D&D too. Give your player a title. So long as they hold that position, they gain those benefits. This is a way to also reward your players without just leveling them up and giving them a bunch of magic items, gold and stuff. But that's a topic for my player rewards video, which will be coming out at a later date, so you're gonna have to delay your gratification on that one. But this concludes today's lesson on pleasure and pain, how to hurt your players without them even realizing that you're doing it, and in fact, they'll love it. Make them infamous. Give them some rivals, some people that they piss off. Send the law after them and go all in with the law system. Have an epic horse chase all across the city. Have them get arrested. Have them have the breakout. Have them have to escape a beheading or a hanging. Put a bounty on them so high that their own teammates think about collecting you. Send epic and awesome trained killers after them, people that will test their grit and their mettle. And when all is said and done, and if your players come out on the other side of that, give them a moniker. Something that they're known as by everybody around them because they've left their mark on the world. If you liked the video, then hit like and subscribe. Now's the time to take the gag out and tell me what you thought about the episode. What player atrocities have you seen as a DM? What player atrocities have you committed? What player punishments have you doled out or have you received as a player? Just let me know in the comments. Please type away. If you are interested in checking us out on Reddit, where we release other homebrew and updates and stuff like that, then you'll find a link to that in the description, as well as the link to our Patreon, where we do original Dungeons and Dragons artwork, and I'll be doing some art live streams coming up pretty soon, so keep tuned in for that. And if you love live plays as much as we do and you want to see me DM, then go ahead and tune in to the Great Valley Dragonrider, which airs on Fridays. I hope to see you there. But until next time, stay safe, happy Friday, enjoy the weekend. How do you spell moniker? I should really script these before I start talking. My other video had a typo in it. Now I'm paranoid that I don't know how to spell anything. I feel like it has a K in it.